constraint. We feel it with staff shortages, supply chain problems, and buckling down with the Omicron surge. But here to help is Dr. Matthieu Villatte. He is a clinical psychologist and the author of numerous books about how to live well in times of constraint and disruption. Perfect for our conversation today. Good morning, Dr. Villatte.
Good morning. Thank you for your invitation.
Okay, so let's talk about the fact that it's been a really stressful couple of years. Burnout is real. It's taken an emotional toll. How can we cope with near constant disruption to our lives through all of this?
Yeah, it's hard to deny that it's been a pretty challenging couple of years for sure. At the same time, sometimes we just start to realize things in periods like that, and it's as if it's the first time, but in many ways we could say that our life has always been a series of disruption. From the very first second we are born, it's just the disruption, and in a way it's what we do. We adapt, but in order to adapt, we need to first notice that there is a disruption, and it might be obvious in some cases for sure. Like you want to get in your house and the door is locked, you cannot get in. It's a disruption, and you're quickly aware of it. But there are cases when it's not that clear, and I think that's what we experience also a lot these days. Like we're frustrated, we're tired, we're sad, and if you start with that, you can recognize that experience. It's I think, a really good beginning to cope with it.
Yeah, so once we understand why we're feeling this way, as you mentioned, kind of pinpointing what it is that is causing us to feel that, say burnt out, on edge, or just feeling plain down, what are some things that you suggest that we can do to feel better?
Yeah, I think, I'm a psychologist, and when I start to think in terms of feeling better, I want to sort of slow down the process, because then we can get quickly into problem-solving mode and doing something which might actually make things worse if we are not clear about what it is that we're missing, what is being disrupted, and why. So actually, I think the first thing is to really acknowledge it and take some time, because some disruptions are really hard to live. It's like a loss, really. It's a sort of grieving process. And then the best thing is to be able to identify what's the big thing, the higher purpose, the value, the meaning that's attached to what we're missing. So I think, even in our everyday lives right now, there's lots of things that we can miss. Some connection with family, sense of freedom, things like that. If we can identify it at a higher purpose, then we start to see other ways of connecting with this higher purpose.
Yeah, kind of perseverating on those things that make us frustrated or feel this way is not always the best. That makes a lot of sense. And, it's really helpful to talk about the fact that we've been through this for almost 2 years now. It seems like it just keeps going and going with more and more roadblocks, more things making our life difficult. So what are your tips for practicing perseverance?
Well, what I'm trying to practice, and I have to admit that I struggle with it too, but I think it's just a human condition here, is to realize again that it's not completely new. Of course, in many ways, it's much more difficult than our lives 2 years ago and all, but the experience itself is not completely new, and there may be something even to learn in this experience. It's like, it's actually never going to end, because it did not really start with the pandemic. If we think in terms of the constraints on our lives, the disruptions, the losses. So it's a form of acceptance, but not resignation, actually. Really the opposite. It's like, you know what, yeah, it will happen again, but we will face it. As long as there is life, as long as there is a purpose, meaning, then we will know what to do.
That's a great mindset to have moving forward. Dr. Villatte, thank you so much for being here with us today. Some awesome information and tips on making sure we can all stay all right through all of this.
You're very welcome. Thank you.